Camilla.
And I'm Kang, and we are the
FI
FI Resellers.
And we have a what sold video for you. We had a really good week this week, so we can't wait to share with you some of our best sales. Then we're going to share our numbers and then our investments, so you'll want to watch the whole video so you don't miss any of it.
We sold this Topps 2021 baseball card set, and it's the complete set. So all of it is in here. All of the names are listed right there in the back. But the weird thing about this is that when I bought it at a garage sale, this part, it's still sealed except for this part. It seems to be cut open for whatever is there. It might have been UPC or something along those lines. But that just means we had to list this used, and we put this in the description that it's kind of open right there. But otherwise, it did sell for $59.95. And on top of that, it's going international. So the buyer paid even more to get this shipped internationally. Pretty interesting considering it's an older set and we don't know much about this. But as with everything that we don't know about, we just look it up and we kind of just see what the price point is. And this one happened to be a pretty good flip. I just happened to have the perfect box for this thing, and it came from Pottery Barn. And you know, as resellers, you kind of hold on to every box that you get. It kind of drives Camilla crazy, but I know that it's going to be used eventually. So other than that, we try not to keep too many of them, especially some of the other smaller boxes and whatnot. So this is going to be shipped out. We're just going to wrap it, and hopefully it gets to the buyer okay.
Okay, so here we have an Acris top. So we've sold Acris Punto, which is a line under this designer before, but this is the main brand. And this is just kind of a plain, almost like a mock neck top. And the reason I picked it up, it felt really nice, and I looked at the tag and I recognized that logo. It's cashmere silk blend. We've had it listed for a while, and I had it listed at $75 and sent it on offer for $60. The person missed the offer but countered back at $60 because she wanted to accept it, just didn't respond in time. And so really happy with that sale, especially considering one, it is super duper light. We picked this up from the bin, so I mean, honestly, it probably costs like 50 cents. And it's a really good sale. It did take a while to sell, I think, just because it is so plain. I don't think that Acris has that great of a resale demand, so I think that's why it took so long to sell. But overall, happy to have stored this for the profit that we made, and happy to, get it to a buyer who wants it. Okay, so here we have a pair of Born Chelsea boots, and if you watched our latest video with the unboxing from Scott the Chin King, he sent us these, and they are really awesome. And we sold them for $32. I had them listed originally at $40, and I had a 20% sale on Facebook Marketplace, so that marked down all of my listings, including this one, which that was maybe a mistake. I feel like I could have gotten $40. I feel like I had them priced pretty right, and they sold very quickly once that sale went on, so I think that's why. They're in really nice condition. They're still in the box, so really happy with this sale. Happy because, they're kind of bulky. So I hope that the buyer really likes them. They're such a cool shoe. Chelsea boots and just these short kind of boots in general are really good pickups for fall. They tend to sell really well in the fall because everyone needs a pair of shoes kind of like this.
We've got this really cool hat that we sold. It's kind of this Mexican style straw hat, but it does have a glaze on it. You can see that it has binded to kind of itself. You can see that there is some weaving in there as well. So pretty interesting way that they made this, and it has a nice little detail there with this leather. The brand is Enper, and it is made in Mexico. So these I saw didn't have a whole lot of information on, not a big sell-through rate, not a whole lot listed, but for the price, I decided to pick it up. Thought it was pretty cool, and sure enough, it sold for $46.65. I don't think I would pick this up again, mainly because it took a little while to sell, and also it's kind of weird to ship something like this. It's kind of difficult to find a box that is the right shape so that you can pad it well enough so that it doesn't get broken, because something like this, it doesn't really flex all that great. So something to consider when you're selling hats. But otherwise, pretty nice profit.
Okay, so this is a kind of canvas work jacket from Duluth Trading Company. It's the 40 grit line, and we sold this on eBay for $30 plus shipping, and I was really happy with that sale. These jackets are definitely going to start selling now that fall is coming. This is definitely a very warm jacket, perfect for someone who spends a lot of time outside. And we pick these up often, these kind of work wear coats, and they usually sell really well for us because people are looking for these, they need them, they are, you know, also kind of just always in style. Like this kind of jacket never really goes in or out of style. It's really more about utility. So that is definitely something to be thinking about as you're picking things up right now, because not a lot of people have a lot of extra spending money right now. So people are looking for things, you know, for utility rather than necessarily for fashion, and this definitely falls into that category. Duluth Trading Company is, you know, not great in terms of the resale value, but in terms of the sell-through rate is really good. And with these kind of heavier jackets, I find that, you know, the brand doesn't matter as much as long as it's well made. That's really what people are looking for.
Okay, what you're looking at here are trees and bushes that are about 2.5 inches, and this is about 1.5 inches or so. And these are vintage Legos, so they don't exactly say Legos anywhere, but I know that they're from a Lego set because I bought it from a garage sale with all this other Lego stuff. I also cross-reference a lot of other Lego listings, and honestly, I think I might have put this in the wrong categories on eBay because it took a little while to sell, but there are 25 pieces of these and I just lotted them up. The person paid $40.15 for this entire thing shipped. Now that's kind of crazy to me because that means it's more than $1 per piece just for these little pieces of plastic. And as you might know, vintage Lego and other vintage toys are really doing quite well right now. And even with this kind of like economic times, people are still buying things that are nostalgic, and you know, if they have the money, then they're going to buy something that they in turn value. So hopefully the person who bought these really will use them and enjoy them, because you know, to us they're just plastic, but to them it's probably worth quite more. So happy to ship these out. It's going to be less than £1, so it's going to go first class.
So here we have a Tula Rosa dress, and it's this nice eyelet long sleeve with these little pom-poms on there. And Tula Rosa is a pretty good brand. It's kind of, I would say, maybe comparable to like a Lily Pulitzer, like kind of a boutique brand, like something sold at, you know, higher end boutiques. So we sold this for $30 plus shipping, so the buyer was all in $40.15. And it has a little defect here on the back and should be pretty easy to repair, just a couple stitches, but we're not super skilled at that, so we don't want to like, you know, mess it up. So we made sure to message the buyer to make sure that they, you know, saw that in the listing, which we like to do because you all know buyers don't like to read descriptions. So we want to make sure that the buyer knows what they're getting so that they aren't disappointed when they get this item, and then, you know, can only return it and not, you know, they still have to pay for shipping. So this was a great sale. We're happy to get it gone. It has been sitting around for a while, probably because of that flaw, and probably also because it's kind of not super on trend anymore. I don't see a lot of, you know, young girls wearing this, but I think it's really nice. I think it's a nice color, and I really love eyelet, so I think it's, you know, kind of timeless, but I think all those things kind of added into why it took so long to sell.
Okay, we sold another hat. 2 hats in 1 week. Kind of nuts if you ask me. So this one is Gurenbros. Gurenbros is a pretty good brand to be on the lookout for. This one happens to just be a size small. We made sure to mention this small little blemish here, but otherwise it's in great condition. This is something that is kind of floppy, and so what we ended up doing was steaming it a little bit and then giving it a little bit of shape. Since it is 100% wool, you can't do that for wool hats. This is kind of a teardrop shape here. This is how we presented it, but essentially when the buyer gets it, they can reshape it kind of as they need. So the buyer paid $41.15 all in, so pretty good for the price that we paid for it. And then also this is actually going to be much easier to ship than the other hat, because the other hat, as you remember, is rigid, so this one is going to be much easier to find a box for.
Those are some of our best sales. We sold other things too, but we don't want to bore you with just some of those low dollar sales, especially because this week we sold 38 items in total for a gross revenue of $989.04.
Nice.
We had a cost of goods of $88.45. And on eBay, we sold 25 items for a net profit of $436.92. On Poshmark, we sold 11 items for $99.55. On Facebook, we sold 2 items for $49.57. So in total, our net profit was $586.04. So really good overall. Our goal each week is about $500. So this is over by, $86, which is great.
We're catching up from the last 2 weeks too. So it all kind of averages out.
Exactly. So we're trying to kind of ramp things up with our business. We are still working through our death pile. You've heard us say that multiple times now, but it is slow going. We are just still finding stuff everywhere. And so if that is you, let us know down in the comments if you are also working through your death
Perpetually.
pile. Yeah, exactly. So we're really trying to get kind of that death pile under control, have reselling take up a little bit less of our house and, kind of contain it a little bit. So if you can relate, you should give this video a thumbs up. It is going to be, I think, a little bit slower because we are working through kind of the dregs of our inventory. But once we go back out thrifting, we should be able to really kind of ramp up our store and, really see some more momentum from that.
Right, now it's time for our segment on building wealth. And this is where we invest a little bit of our profits and we show you where we're going with it, how it's doing, all of that. So we invest $50 of the Facebook Marketplace profits into the total stock market index. We've had this experiment going for over a year now, and this is how we're doing. Not great, but the turmoil in the economy is just so bizarre that we are not going to explain it. We're not the experts, but as always, we're going to invest this for a really long time, which is over 40 years in our case. But really, this is to show you the long-term buy and hold. We update you each week just because it's just part of this segment, right? We're not discouraged about it. We've been thinking about this for a really long time. We're going to keep buying it, especially when it's on sale like this. And we continue to buy it even if it's up, even when it's down, whatever it is. That's just how we've decided to do it. And that's how we're going to do it for the rest of our investing career. So keep up with us if you want to know more about it. But essentially, we talk about it a little bit each week. So in terms of building wealth, we've been talking about a lot of different topics, but for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've been talking about taking your time into your own hands and really trying to figure out what the value of your time is, and then thinking about how to get there. And now we want to kind of reiterate that and share one of the comments that we got from Tracy. And this is just so in our ballpark, and it resonated with us so much that I wanted to share it. It says, everyone has different goals. I've always felt it's okay for me if I never become a 6-figure seller as long as I can pay my bills and be okay. The most important thing is that I get time with my little one and don't have to worry who will pick her up or drop her off at school, because my reselling allows me to make my own hours. Some weeks will always be better than others. There is a lot of joy in life if you are content with what you have. I am. So that resonates with us because it's pretty much what we've been preaching. We're trying to figure out how we're taking our time back so that we can spend our time with our baby. And when it comes to wealth, we have to know exactly what is enough, right? We can grind out, 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, 120 hours a week if we needed to, but that is for what purpose? One possible reason is for us to do that for our family and to provide for our baby, but then we're not getting to spend that very special time with our baby. And so the ends do not justify the means. So you really have to figure out what you want to do, your means of getting to your goal, but also temper it so that you know what is enough, so that when you're building wealth, it's not just about getting rich. It's really about the wealth of life there, where you are spending good time with the ones you love, and make sure you're really honed in on that, because it can sometimes be lost, when we're really hustling and all that. So it's really important that when you're building wealth, that you not lose yourself in all of that, because it's not just about the destination, right? It's always also about the journey.
I think the question you have to ask yourself is, what is the money for? What is the success for? You can try to get money for money's sake or success for success sake, but that doesn't really fulfill what you're looking for. For us, what does like, what is reselling for? It's for us to be able to spend time with our family. So we're not going to trade that time with our family to, you know, have more success in reselling, more success on YouTube, anything like that. So it's really about defining what your goals are and realizing what the money is for and not losing sight of that in the process, which can be kind of hard to do, especially, you know, in our world of social media. And, you know, we can compare our reselling business to someone else's, or our YouTube or social media to someone else's, and say, wow, they have so much of a bigger store, or they're making so much more money, or they have a bigger following than we do. But in the end, it doesn't really matter, you know, if they have a warehouse and we still work out of our house.
Right.
It doesn't matter, because we're not trying to have a warehouse size, you know, production in our life. You know, that's not what our goal is. Our goal is to be able to make enough money to spend time, as much time as we can, as a family.
Right. So in the end, it's about knowing what enough is and being content with the things that you have. And, you know, comparing ourselves to other people can be a motivator, but at the end of the day, hopefully it's just that, and not necessarily, you know, a moving target, right? You're always comparing yourself to someone else and trying to continue to build, and you might never find that happiness that you're searching for. So hopefully you're doing reselling for all of these reasons, and, you know, for the flexibility and all of that. And we're just preaching to the choir, but at the end of the day, I just think that it's a great reminder either way. So if you resonate with that, please let us know down in the comments. We're just so encouraged by everyone who lets us know that they're also on this journey for a bigger purpose, and we're so encouraged by all of you also.
Like King said, leave a comment down below. We would love to just chat with you down there, see how your business is doing, all of that. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That tells YouTube that more people should see this video, and that would be awesome. And if you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing. We would love to have you as part of our YouTube community.
Yeah, keep that passion burning, y'all. This is all about passion for us. Hopefully you are reselling for a very passionate reason. We're always rooting for you. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Really hurts. I think we're holding her. She takes so long to fall asleep. My arms hurt.
Your left arm's gonna be really strong.
I know. My left arm is really strong compared to my right arm. I need to hold her in my right arm more, but then I hold her for like 2 minutes in my right arm, and then it hurts so bad, so I have to switch it back.
Baby's getting big.
I know.
Baby's getting big.
Too big. And when she falls asleep, she's like a freaking sack of potatoes. She gets so heavy.